On crypto for the week. Binance CEO sentenced, SEC investigated Ethereum, USDC overtakes USDT, Stripe brings back crypto. Stick around to find out the juicy details on these major stories shaking up the crypto world. First up, Binance founder and CEO Changpeng Zhao, commonly known as CZ, was sentenced to 4 months in prison on Tuesday after pleading guilty to charges of enabling money laundering at his crypto exchange last November. U.S. District Judge Richard Jones handed down the sentence in a Seattle federal court, which was significantly less than the 3 years federal prosecutors had been seeking. As part of his plea deal, Zhao also stepped down as CEO of Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. Prosecutors accused Zhao of willfully failing to implement an effective anti-money laundering program and allowing Binance to process transactions involving proceeds of unlawful activity, including between Americans and individuals in sanctioned jurisdictions. The U.S. ordered Binance to pay a staggering $4.3 billion in fines and forfeiture, while Zhao himself agreed to pay a $50 million fine. Judge Jones told Zhao, "You had the wherewithal, the finance capabilities, and the people power to make sure that every single regulation had to be complied with, and so you failed at that opportunity." Before receiving his sentence, Zhao apologized, saying, "I believe the first step of taking responsibility is to fully recognize the mistakes. Here I failed to implement an adequate anti-money laundering program. I realize now the seriousness of that mistake." Personally, I think Zhao got off relatively easy compared to other high-profile crypto figures like Sam Bankman-Fried, who was sentenced to 25 years in prison for fraud at his now bankrupt FTX exchange. While Zhao's compliance failures are serious, they seem to be viewed as less deceitful and financially damaging than the direct financial misconduct and deception Bankman-Fried engaged in. Still, a 4-month prison sentence for a billionaire crypto mogul is nothing to scoff at. Next, a bombshell court filing this week revealed that the SEC has been formally investigating Ethereum's potential status as a security for over a year. The unredacted complaint, filed by Ethereum software company Consensus as part of their lawsuit against the SEC, claims that in March 2023, SEC Enforcement Division Director Gerber Grewal approved a formal order delegating broad authority to SEC staff to investigate and subpoena individuals and entities involved in buying or selling ETH, going back to at least 2018. This investigation was affirmed by the 5-member SEC Commission in April 2023. Just days before SEC Chair Gary Gensler testified before Congress and refused to answer repeated questions about whether the SEC believed Ethereum to be a security. If the Gensler-led SEC ultimately does classify Ethereum as a security, it would contradict previous SEC guidance from 2018 under then-Chairman Jay Clayton, when Ethereum and Bitcoin were deemed sufficiently decentralized to not be considered securities. Honestly, I find this revelation pretty shocking. The idea that the SEC has been quietly investigating Ethereum as a potential unregistered security for over a year, while Gensler dodged giving a straight answer to Congress, feels like a huge betrayal of trust. Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency with a nearly $200 billion market cap. Millions of investors could be impacted if it's suddenly deemed a security. The lack of regulatory clarity is frustrating, to say the least. In other news, Circle's USDC stablecoin has apparently overtaken Tether's USDT as the market leader in transaction volume this year, according to data from Visa. The payment giant's metrics show USDC hitting a whopping $456 billion in weekly transaction volume compared to just $89 billion for USDT. Since January, USDC has accounted for around 50% of total stablecoin transfer volume. This is pretty surprising, considering USDT is usually framed as the top stablecoin, with a nearly 70% share of total stablecoins in circulation. But the Visa data suggests USDC is increasingly being used for transactions, especially in the US, while USDT is more of an international store of value. As a USDC holder myself, I'm pretty excited to see it gaining traction. I've always viewed USDC as a more trustworthy and regulated stablecoin compared to the somewhat controversial Tether. The fact that major companies like Visa and BlackRock are partnering with Circle and integrating USDC is really a great sign in my book. Finally, in a blast from the past, Stripe is bringing back crypto payments after initially supporting and then abandoning Bitcoin back in 2014 to 2018. At a company keynote, Stripe President John Collison announced they'll start supporting global stablecoin payments this summer, with USDC transactions that instantly settle on-chain. Collison said, "Crypto is finding real utility, citing increasing transaction speeds and decreasing costs that are finally making sense as a means of exchange." This comes on the heels of messaging giant Telegram also pivoting to crypto payments for advertisers and content creators. I have to say, as someone who was disappointed when Stripe originally dropped crypto support, I'm thrilled to see them coming back around. Stablecoins like USDC solving crypto's volatility problem as a payment method is a game changer. With a major player like Stripe on board, plus the proliferation of crypto debit cards, I think we're getting closer to crypto payments actually becoming viable for mainstream adoption. Exciting times ahead. But of course, this is the Wild West of crypto we're talking about, so who knows what curveballs could come next. The Binance and Ethereum stories this week are a stark reminder of the regulatory risks still hanging over the industry. As always, none of this is investment advice. Be sure to do your own research before diving in. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for tuning in to get caught up on this week's hottest stories from the never-dull world of crypto. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest crypto news and happenings. Until next time, keep holding on.